Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram, to all of you, we welcome everyone to the satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We are continuing the study circle on Gita Vahini, the commentary written by our Swami on Bhagavad Gita, the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So you got the email, so it is soft copy, chapter 7, page 32. And if you have the hard copy, chapter 7, page 59. So last week we were talking about Arjuna, why he was chosen, Swami said, as the one to receive the message. And also, I think last time Chiranjeevi asked the question about surrender, right? So I was thinking that probably I should give some explanation. I told something, I want to elaborate on that. We said surrender is between faith and surrender. Surrender is the last word in spirituality. If you surrender, that means you realized complete surrender. That is why even Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, who is the great Advaitic master, so what all he said was, anybody goes and say, what is the way? Find out who you are. Who am I? Who am I? That's all. Because that is the path of jnana. But even he said, jnana and surrender are not different. If you are surrendered, you are a jnani. If you are jnani, you are surrendered. Because there, as we talked before, jnana devatu kaivalya, only through jnana we attain liberation. So the surrender is the way to get liberation. And we talked about the sloka also on chapter 18, 66, where Lord says, if you surrender completely to me, I will give you moksha. Moksham, that I'll give you liberation. So that is but only thing is, to come to that stage, you need a lot of purity of the heart. They said chitta shuddhi jnana siddhi. So till we get rid of all our negative tendencies, the 6 inner enemies, desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride and jealousy, and all the 8 kinds of pride. What are the 8 kinds of pride? Pride of lineage. Oh, I belong to this special caste. Some people say Kshatriya or the thing. Pride of beauty. Oh, I'm so beautiful. Pride of youth. You're young. As we get older, you get, oh, I'm getting old. But when pride of youth, you are in the peak of youth. And pride of wealth. I'm so rich, billionaire, trillionaire, whatever it is. Pride of power. Yeah, I'm very powerful. And pride of scholarship. I know so much. I know scholarship. Pride of name and fame. Oh, it's so famous. Everybody knows about me. And pride of physical strength. Some people have so much physical strength. So all these are various kinds of pride we have. We need to get rid of all of them. But the worst pride is spiritual pride. To think I'm a great devotee of God. That's why Swami is going to say, I have to tell that you are my devotee, not you tell that. So when the more you are devoted, you become humble. You say there are so many people who are better than me. They have so much love for God. How can I become like them? So that is, so the last one to go is spiritual pride. Because people give up everything going to the forest, but they still have the spiritual pride. So I want to tell you two instances where what is partial surrender and complete surrender. So any of you know the story of Gajendra in Bhagavatam. So there is this big elephant. He actually, in his previous life, was a king. He was cursed to be. That's why you should be careful. If you are not, don't behave good, you can become an elephant. You can become a cobra. You can snake, like Shidi Baba said. Veerabhadrapa, Chanabasapa. You can become a frog. You can become a goat. At least animals. But you can become even a tree. In Bhagavatam, that people, two Gandharvas who were cursed as trees. That is why Lord Krishna goes there and those trees fall down and they become the Gandharvas, celestial beings. So if you are not good, you may not only be born as a human, you go in the lower birds, like animals, any of these animals, and even you can become a tree, or you can become even a stone, like Ahalya became a stone. So just to behave good. The best is so that you don't want to be born again, then no problem. That is the ultimate moksha. So this elephant, because he was bad, behaved bad as a king, so he was cursed to be elephant. So as elephant, he still has that vasana, he has royal, he thinks. So because elephant, he can have any number of nice wives. He has got thousands of wives and he goes wild, he can behave. He goes to a lake and wants to have a good bath. He can stay good, take a bath, come out. But he has that pride, he wants to show off to his wives. So he goes wild and take a bath and disturbs the whole lake. Then when it gets disturbed, there is a crocodile. It gets mad. Who is this guy coming and disturbing? Then it catches hold of the elephant's leg. So it is very strong elephant. It tried, it could not do it. Then it asked all its wives to help and friends to help. When you are in distress, nobody helps you. They were looking, feeling sad for the elephant. Nobody helped. Then he went on fighting against this crocodile. They say in the scripture for many hundreds of years or thousands, he went on fighting. Didn't. Then he says, "Oh Lord, I can't do this myself. So you please help me." He just cries out to the Lord, "Please help me." So completely, I cannot do by myself. No friends happen, family happens, helps. So I cannot. My strength is no well. Then the Lord comes. There's a beautiful story that Lord Vishnu comes running when he says, completely surrendered, I can't do anything, and then helps. So this is partial surrender. In the beginning, he didn't surrender. Only when he realized family, friends, his own strength doesn't help, then he surrenders. That is ultimately, finally, then Lord comes. Till then, he didn't come. Same thing, Draupadi, she is a great lady. So when she was being dishonored, which you don't go into the details, so first she tries to protect, she tries to cover, she appealed to all the people in the assembly, the great leaders, Bhishma, Drona, her own husbands, everybody she appeals. Nobody helps. To show that in the times of distress, only person who helps, God. So the friends, family, they're all good, you love them. But really, when the time of complete, like this Gajendra, and same thing with Draupadi, all those are great heroes. Bhishma, Drona, as one, and the husbands are so strong, everybody, but nobody helped. And finally, she used her own strength to cover herself. That didn't work. Then she lifted both hands, Lord Krishna, you alone can save me. Then Lord Krishna gives her these saris. So then only she surrenders. In the beginning, it's like, I can't do anything, Lord, you take care, he would have. But she is great. At least she went to God as ultimate surrender. In contrast, you might have heard of the person Prahlada. He didn't pray to God. His father Hiranyakashipa, Swami says, is the greatest scientist ever lived. He could conquer all the worlds and the planets, the five elements, everything under control. But he hated the Lord. So his son Prahlada was the greatest devotee of the Lord. So he didn't like that. So to punish him, so first he puts him under the elephants. He was not scared. He didn't even pray to God. He was smiling. The people were, and then he was given poison to drink. He was smiling. He didn't ask if the poison becomes like a nectar. He was thrown from the cliff of a mountain. It didn't bother him. He was put in fire. Main thing is he didn't even pray to God because he had so much confidence. There's nothing anybody can do because everything is God. So nothing could affect him. That is the ultimate. That means he has so much love for God. He sees even in fire, poison, everything is for him Vishnumayam. So that is the ultimate surrender where you see nothing but God. These other things is good that when you are in distress, instead of going to people, you go to God. But the ultimate is always, you are so much in. So that is why Prahlada, to read, he drinks God, eats God, talks about God, nothing else. He doesn't know anything but God. So that is the complete surrender. Whereas even there is a case of young boy Dhruva, you know that, right? But Dhruva, he prayed to God for the kingdom to be able to do that. That is Rajasic Bhakti. You have a desire, whenever you have a desire, nothing wrong. You pray, Swami, God is our mother and father for health, wealth, family, friends. But the highest is you don't even pray because you know he is our very own. He will take care. So that is the example of Prahlad. I want to share that partial surrender, complete surrender. So by his grace and blessings, hope we get complete surrender, then you're always in bliss. That is the explanation I wanted to expand. And last week we talked about Arjuna, why he chose Arjuna. I want somebody to summarize why Arjuna he was chosen. You could have taken Dharmaraja. He's a great man. Actually, his name itself, Dharmaraja, means he's a king of Dharma. That is the embodiment of Dharma. That is what Dharmaraja was. And Bhima, so strong. Nakula and Sahadeva, so smart. But he chose Arjuna to do the thing. So we talked last week. There are four. Chal. So you tell Arjuna, Charanjit knows. No, that is how we remember whenever we try to recollect what did we learn. So otherwise it becomes passive. Yeah.
One is his foresightedness.
Very good.
Second one is one-pointedness. And then priority on God, faith.
Good. You get A plus.
Sai Ram, can I add number 5?
You can add. Good. Any number you can add. Yeah.
So I think we discussed in the past, Arjuna explicitly asks Krishna, could you please teach me? I'm confused, right?
Yes.
So also he asked.
So he is a good student. So he has that longing to know the truth. His hankering. So you need to have that intense longing. So that's why every time he asks, oh, you said bhakti is good, but which kind of bhakti? I can have worship God without form or with form. So that's how Lord Krishna, when the student asks the teacher the questions, that is what Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Pariprashna. That means not just for some people ask for asking questions, but really pariprashna means really that intense desire to know the truth. You ask, then the Lord answers. So Arjuna was asking in each thing, pariprashna, what is Lord? I want to know the truth. Who are the three gunas? What is the real bhakti? So you can add this. So that is how he chose. So we should also be why this is important is why are we here? We want Brahmajnana, right? We want to get liberation. So if you want that, so he's giving the indication, hey, you need to have these qualities. You should have absolute faith in Swami or in the scriptures, in our own self, Atma. And you should have that one-pointedness, not scattered, being thinking something now and something. You should have that one-pointed focus. And highest priority is Swami in life, SAI. Swami first, all others next, I last. And then what else? We have faith, and then priority, and then one-pointedness, and then you should have that intense longing. So just know the highest truth, then you will have the things. So we need to, and also anything to jump into anything, you need to have the discrimination, viveka, foresight. Foresight is really better than that is viveka, discrimination. Is this good for the highest good, not my selfish good, is the highest good of all. Then God will give the answer. That is why we say, where is Swami, where is Krishna? He is inside. Huddeshi Arjuna. We said God gave the address. Where is he? Huddeshi, in your heart. So when you have these qualifications, you will get all the answers. You don't need to go anywhere. From the inside, you don't need even to read scriptures. Our stage, we read it. But people like Sri Ramakrishna, he never went to school. And then there is one, he had a disciple called Latu Maharaj. He never even studied. He didn't know how to even write and write. He used to put fingerprints. But he became the great disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And Swami Vivekananda used to joke, he's not Lato, but he's Plato, and that wise man. So and so many high, great scholars became his devotees. So it is not the school, even Bhagavan Ramana, he never went to college. Swami never went to college. Shidi Baba never went to school. But these people are source of wisdom, because that is what is important, is to have that purity and these qualifications. Okay, so now that is the brief summary. So now we can continue. We are on page 59, and then for the chapter 7, page 32. Or even before we started, some question, it's like 2 questions. That means Arvind joined the call. He is something good sign.
What is the difference between giving up and surrender? Because in both cases, on the surface, one says, I cannot do this.
Yeah, that is called laziness. Giving up is called laziness. That is why Swami says, that's why everything he has answered. Yatna prayatnamul manava dharmam. Yeah, so effort and sincere effort is our duty. So that is, you give up, then that is laziness. That is why there in life, there's a beautiful sloka in Mahabharata, and also Bhartruhari said that, Arambhim paru nichamanavu. People of the lowest cadre, they don't even start work. This won't happen, that objection will be there, this won't happen. They won't even start any work. Anything in life, whether college, high school, or in an organization. Arambhinchi parityajinturu madhyamul. The middlings, they start the work. Then obstacles come, just forget about it. They give up. But the highest one, they won't give up. They will just till the end. But the difference between surrender and giving up is, both outside they look alike. There they have a conviction that God is the doer. I just happen to be there. As Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhava sarvesachin. You just happen to be there. So once that conviction comes, that is surrender. Whereas in the beginning, that is why Swami Vivekananda warned in India that apathy, my destiny, my karma, people became so lazy. Anyway, whatever is supposed to happen, why should I do? That giving up is because of tamasic nature, that is laziness. Whereas the real thing when you give up is putting all the best effort. I know, Lord, whatever I have, do the best and leave the rest to God. There is like a formula. Do the best and leave the rest. That is the giving up. Now, otherwise, that giving up becomes laziness. Yeah.
One more, I think it's more of like a comment. Also regarding Arjuna, in a discourse, Swami says, the reason why Arjuna got Gita over Yudhishthira, Swami says that Arjuna showed Purvatapa, whereas Yudhishthira showed Paschatapa.
Yeah. We talked about the foresight versus hindsight. That's why Dharmaraja, he knows who is the one who presided the war. Lord Krishna. So when God is the presiding, nothing, no sin will be there. That is why Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, Hatva sapi iman lokan na hantina na bidhyati. Even though you kill everybody, is equivalent to not killing. It looks very paradoxical, but that is what he says. But this Dharmaraja, after the whole war is over, he felt so bad. Oh my God, what a sin we did. We killed so many people. He does the big yajna so that to have a repentance. Because paschatapa, after the war is over. Before the war, you should think about, hey, what is the consequence? That is what Arjuna thought. Whereas this guy waited till the war is over. That is the important. Yes, that is right, comment. That is why we talked about one of those 5 qualities. One is the Purvatapa, there is foresight. So that is good.
Uncle,
Okay.
in regards to previous comment of giving up versus surrenderance, I feel when we truly surrender, there is peace of mind, there is acceptance, and this inner state of being there but not reacting. But if we just give up on the surface, then there is agitation, fear, anxiety, and inner depression.
Yeah, that's a good point. So some people in life, just give up in so many things. Then, as I said, you will have, there is a different kind of emotional feelings, apathy, depression, or not. Whereas here, it doesn't matter whether good, bad, nothing matters, because you do the best you have. You don't care. Because most of the problem is we crave for it. Oh, something is good happen, not bad. That means you are the doer, you want it. As I said, once completely surrender, you are happy. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. That is, whereas you do, even before you do, you give up, you will feel that your conscience will prick you. Hey, I'm not doing the best I can. You will get the answer within yourself. You want to make comment?
Some comment, it's just striking in my mind.
No, tell. That's why this is I'm happy more. It's getting interactive. That's what we wanted to. It is not a.
So giving up is basically like hopelessness, whereas surrender is basically hope with full faith.
Good. Good, great philosopher. Good. That's good. A good answer. That's practically speaking. That's what it is. So just you should be always important to have faith. That's why Saint Paul, the great apostle of Jesus, in his letter to Corinthians writes, faith, hope, love. These are the 3 greatest things. But he says of all, love is the greatest. So faith is very important. And then hope, always don't be pessimistic. It can't be done. Some people are always pessimistic. You should be optimistic. So yes, this can be done. The more you think positive, my mother always used to say, has anybody something negative? Don't say that. Tathastu devatas are there. She used to believe that. For people who don't know, Tathastu means may it be so. So you say something wrong, then some people will say, may it be so. So always say good things, and they also will bless you. So always try to avoid the negative feelings and negative expressions. That is very important. Good point.
I'm just going to start in the paragraph above. Weak hearts cannot grasp the Gita and put it into practice. It is with this full knowledge and this high purpose that Krishna selected Arjuna as the vehicle and showered on him his grace. Once, while Krishna was conversing intimately with Arjuna, he made this statement. And note the overpowering grace that Lord Krishna showed. Arjuna, you are my closest bhakta. Not only that, you are my dearest friend. I have no friend so dear to me as you are. That is the reason why I taught you this supreme secret teaching. Reflect on this. Many in the world are only self-styled bhaktas. The Lord has not accepted them as such. To get the title from the Lord himself is great good fortune, and that is the highest credential. The bhakta must melt the heart of the Lord and get from him the acknowledgement of bhakti. If the title is taken by oneself, it gives paltry satisfaction, not genuine joy. Alpa tripti, not atma tripti. Arjuna was the only person who got the title from the Lord himself. So you can understand how pure-hearted, how deserving was Arjuna. You might say 100 things about yourself. You might advance this claim and that. But you must show acknowledgement from the Lord. Without that, all your talk is empty boast. Bhakti must be won by implicit obedience. But that alone is not sufficient. That is why Krishna uses the word mitra, friend also. The friend has no fear. That makes him a more perfect recipient. Now we shall resume the trend and go back to the Gita. When Arjuna listened to Krishna's words, he developed a head full of doubts. He became agitated. Not only he, but all men nowadays are worried by doubts. Moreover, in the complex spiritual field and the field of knowledge concerning Godhead, there are two interpretations possible, the outer and the inner. Ordinary men accept the outer, and those who have some experience of the Lord seek to know the inner. Stop. This line actually, it kind of got me emotionally when Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, "You are my dearest friend." And I think being the closest bhakti and being the dearest friend are interchangeable to the Lord. And that's, to achieve that is a huge accomplishment. And I think it takes really not just a lot of wisdom, but probably many lifetimes and many experiences to get through that. And I thought when Swami kind of, I don't want to say the word deviate, but when he just kind of takes another turn for a second and really talks about this idea of the self-styled bhakta, I just kind of sat and talked about that because you were just mentioning, Uncle, that spiritual pride, and that's when you mentioned that. I was thinking of this passage, how people sort of think because they do certain things, they are the better devotee of God than someone who doesn't. But we don't really know what goes on behind closed doors or what people do. There are a lot of people who do a lot of seva. They may not come to, a satsang every week, or they may not sing bhajans all the time, but then they're always donating their time. And that's also a form of yoga, really, your path to God. But I think when we think about Arjuna, as we go on, Arjuna is sort of representative of humanity, but he is really the ideal of humans. And it's something that in this human birth, we really should all strive to be considered the dearest friend of God. Is like I said, it got me kind of emotional. I really had to read that sentence a few times when I was reading it the first time. So I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on that, but I think that's a really important concept.
Anybody has any comments on that? Let me tell you one thing. So there are 9 types of devotion. You know that. Anybody wants to say all the 9 types? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, not Nidhyasanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Why I'm telling you these 9 is, everyone takes you to God. I should say Shravanam, just listening to the stories of God will take you to God. Who was the greatest example we always talk about? Parikshit. 7 days, he thought about the Lord, he heard, and he realized God. Right? 7 days he listened to Bhagavatam. And another story I said, it was Katvanga, just one muhurta, less than 1 hour, he intensely thought, he was liberated. And Kirtanam, we sing bhajans and same thing, Mera Bhai, Tyagaraja, Surdas, Purandardas, great devotees by singing. But here in the 9 stages, what is the last one? Adniveda. That is surrender. I said that is the last word. There is nothing after that. But before that is Sakhyam. Before that is Dasyam. Dasyam is the servant service, selfless. But even more than that is friendship. Friendship, it comes close to surrender, because a servant attitude, you may not share with the master everything, but a friend, you share everything with your friend. Real friend, that is why that friendship to God is, that is why Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, you are not only my bhakta, my devotee, but you are my friend. And Lord gives so much importance to friend. So, and that is what says you should have only one friend, that is God. I remember this was almost 30 years ago, more than that. Karen was, my first daughter was about 12 or 13, I think, right, about that. And we were in the interview room. Swami, placed the teenage is the one is trouble time. Swami said, how is your friend? He said, what friend? Swami tries to, that friend. Even then, he says, that friend, no, Swami, you're my only friend. And he was very happy. That is the answer. I don't know if she thought about it or just spontaneously she didn't have that many friends too. That's true. So just, so you are the friend. So Swami says, always remember, God is the only friend. Others come and go. God is the only friend. That is why God gives even Kuchela, the story of Sudama, how just because of the friendship, he gives him everything. So just when he gives parched rice he gives them the unbelievable wealth. That is a big Swami one time talked about that whole story one. So the friendship, try to develop that relationship with God. The best way to nurture love for God is always to have a relationship with God. Whether he is, I'm your servant attitude, dasoham, that is good because we still have bodies, or just have that relationship as a friend. So some relation like Gopikas had as a beloved. So like that, some relationship, when you have that, or as your mother, as your father. So that's why I remember that also my mother, one time she was very ill and admitted stroke, and Swami cured her. And then I said, Mom, did you thank Swami for that? Why should I thank him? I don't need to thank, he's our very own. Then I went back after a few months to Prashant and I told Swami, so you are thanked for curing her. But my mother said, why to thank him? That is the right attitude. Only you thank somebody outside. When he is your own father and mother, you feel part of it. You are like your other child. You need to feel that so much intense love, you should have that right. So you need to develop, nurture the relationship with God. Not Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed by thee. That is good, but if you are heaven, you can't relate. He is with us as a friend and companion. If you develop that relationship, nurture, then you always talk to him throughout. You talk to your friend. So that is the very important to develop that relation of the friend. And here also he says, you won't call everybody my devotee, only selected. And also, who was the one who said, don't judge? I think Nirupama was telling, each one has their own way to relate God, some through service, some through singing bhajans, some to study of the scriptures. Each one has, we are nobody to judge who is dear to God. Like we all know the story of Abu Ben Adam, who said he didn't do any formal worship for God. So he thought he didn't love God, but God loved him the most and the topmost because he did the service to people, seeing God in them. So we never know who is dear. That is why to get certificate from God, you need to develop credentials. And God has given. Where did God give those? Chapter 12. Bhakti Yoga. Go to at least a lot of Glendale Center used to have chapter, because Swami used to make them long time ago, right? 25, 30 years ago, they used to chant the whole 12 chapter. Do you remember now, Neelam? And so those days, right? Almost 25, 30 years, they used to do that. This Shloka 13 to 20, this gives the summary of all the qualities. Maybe one time we'll go there. There are 37 qualities. Don't be scared that you have to have all. Once you develop one or then automatically everything comes. There, the first thing is, first it starts with the quality, Adveshta Sarvabhutana, the most important. So even senior people, Adveshta means no hatred towards no being. The minute we say hate, I hate somebody, whether man, woman, or even an animal. Some people say, I hate lizards, I hate cockroaches, I hate snakes. The minute you say hate, you're already disqualified as a devotee. The first quality he said is Adveshta Sarvabhutana. He didn't say human beings. Sarvabhutana means all beings. You can't say anything. So that is the first quality. Then everything comes Maitra, Karuna, Yavacha, all those other qualities. So that is the qualities. We'll go probably that maybe we should dilate on that. What are the qualities we should have to be called as a devotee? That is why every shloka he says, Yomat Bhaktas. If you have these qualities, Adveshta, Sarvabhutana, Maitra, Karuna, Yevacha, Nirmamo, Nirahankari, Samadukha Sukhachami, Santushta Satam Yogi, Yatatma Drida Nischaya, Mayarpita Mano Buddhir, Yomat Bhaktas Same Priya. Every place. That devotee is dearest to me. So he has that qualities. One who has all these qualities, who has equanimity, who has love, who has compassion, who has friendship. So all those qualities he enumerates. Please, you go ahead. Next week we can talk about, somebody can summarize. Huh?
Few years ago, we did the Bhakti Yoga, and then Anjaneya printed out that all the 36.
Yeah.
So, somebody must have.
Yeah, just get that. Yeah.
Going through again, we can.
Yeah.
Up and Anjaneya might have it. He gave us copies and we discussed.
Yeah, it has been enumerated. Yeah, so just somebody can. Yeah, so just do that. But anyway, we can always dilate on that and discuss. So that will give. This is like self-audit. Whenever you think, oh, I'm a devotee, there's a checklist. You yourself can check. Hey, do I call for? Okay, no, I was not up and down. Samadukha sukham. Samashyatrucha mitrecha. I'm equal to foe and friend. Sometimes you hate the friends you are. So really, there's beautiful stories how everybody is same for them. They don't look. I was listening to about Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He got the stories how much he was humiliated. You see, later on people adored him, worshipped him, but when in the early stages of his life, when he took that like a sannyasa, and then he was doing the penance in a cave because he has to do it outside. People were all giving trouble, and he was always starving, no food. And on the top of it, people used to, sometimes they used to beat him up and then spit on him, but no reaction because he was in the samadhi state. So that is why those are the people who can really say they are established in that stage of divine consciousness. So that is very important. So just that's by constant practice it happens. Anybody else has any comments?
Comment earlier, actually, Dr. Ganesh. Dr. Ganesh, there's a comment.
Oh, sure.
Giving up work is dereliction. Doing, but giving up the end result, surrender.
Yes, very good point. Yeah, so just don't, that's whole secret of Gita is, don't give up the thing. The karmanyeva adhikaraste. That's why the whole thing is, ma phaleshu kadachana. It's like a mantra. Just you are entitled to do work. You have to do work. If you don't do the work, he says, you will give amogha and agha. That means your life is wasted and you become sinful. That is why for a spiritual person, there is no retirement. But people, regular life, because you made decent money, decent living, now you enjoy. But for a spiritual, that's why when Swami, first I used to think all those people who work there, 75, 80, 85, some 90, like Charanjit Rao, 95, Gopal Rao, Nata, 95. He used to make them work because we are a spiritual person, there is no question of retirement. Till only retirement is liberation. If you are liberated, there is no, you don't need to come back this cycle of births and deaths, because that is, because Lord Krishna himself was an example. I don't know how old he was, 125 when he did the war, at the time of the war, Mahabharata war. So he says, Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hai aghayur indriyaramo mogham partha sajiv. This wheel of action I have put into motion. Anybody who doesn't follow it, it is amogha. His life is wasted. He is full of sin. So that is why it's very important to always get involved, as beautifully that comment made. Go on working, but not about the results. Willingly give the fruits of actions. Krishna Arpanamastu, Sai Arpanamastu. Dedicate all that to God, and then you are not bound. Because when you work, the problem is you will have results. That is the law of karma. So as you sow, you reap. So, but you may say, oh, I do only good work, service. That is also a bondage. Because of the good work, you will get the good merit, you go to heaven or whatever it is, and then after you finish, you'll come back. But if you don't want to even have that punya or papa, you need to, Lord, I give it to you. So then you are not bound. As Swami Vivekananda said, chains of gold are as much binding as chain of iron. So just we should be careful. Give it, Lord, dedicate the whole thing to Him. That is the secret. Do the work, but not be bound by the work. Because most of the people are bound by work because they crave for the results. They want profit, or they want honor, they want power, whatever it is. That is the good point. Anybody else? I think we don't have much to continue, right? So just okay. So then, if not, we can conclude here and continue next week. So in general, so let us get friendship with God. Think about Him. Get the title from Him as a devotee. Okay. So just read about those qualities in Bhakti Yoga, and then we can